Now coming to the second panel discussion, which is called and which is named as being impactful. So the word itself says so many things about the same. Being impactful on the boards as well as the corporate leadership positions involves a lot of skills, including negotiations, conflict resolutions, and assertively strong, along with a tactful diplomat and dynamic personality. Even in our homes, we quite often find that a wife, a mother, or a sister is a better negotiator during crisis times. Well, to put this perspective from the corporate angle, may I introduce to take up the discussion further? We have Mrs. Chaya Momaya joining us, and due to some emergency, she will be with us to share her quick insights first, and then our moderator, Divya Momaya, will continue the panel discussion with the other two esteemed panelists. Before the discussion starts, let me give a quick introduction about Chaya Momaya. Chaya Momaya is a life coach, grooming, and image consultant. Chaya is a metaphor for sophistication, timeless style, and luxury and entrepreneurship. India's most admired life coach has morphed personalities and careers of prominent industrialists, also politicians, housewives, investment bankers, and youngsters over the years. She is the tallest figure to reckon with in Mumbai's caviar circles, and a self made and self taught professional whose name spells elegance and refinement. No wonder individuals from different walks of lives and luxury brands reach out to her for her expertise. And in her high voltage career, which is so many starry eyed youngsters only dream of, she's underscored the understanding of corporate language and dressing appropriately. Chaya Momaya is a life coach, grooming, and image consultant. The most photographed stylisma knows the art of entertaining and believes that a good, fine dining experience can connect you to a lot of people and bring a lot of business to your table if you know how to do it well. I welcome you, Chaya, to this conclave.
Thank you. Very, very generous showers of compliment. Thank you. And wish all of you a very energetic 2021. It's unfortunate that I'll have to leave a little early, but Divya has been very kind in putting this whole thing together. And I just feel it's such a pleasure for me to address women. And if I could even change 1% of it, it's the best thing I could ever do.
Wonderful.
So, yes, Divya.
Thank you so much for accepting our invitation and being here with us. So, first of all, I would like to know, when we say being impactful, what are your thoughts for women leaders here on being impactful in the boardrooms and why they should be impactful? So, over to you.
See, today we are all global now. We're just not connected to India or a particular country where we come from. Globalization means you adapt culture from the good culture from every country, and every country has impeccable culture, and the rich heritage starts from India. If you go back past in our ancestors, they've always used the word जी, एक अदब होती है, एक बात करने की अदब होती है. So this is what we have actually taught our future children, the future of our country, and somehow, somewhere, we are losing it by mixing shortcuts in our language. Language is such an important thing. So coming back to Divya, impactful means each one of us can make an impact when you walk into the room. When you walk in, there are times when you've gone in a big banquet and there's one person who just stands out and everyone watches that person. That person can be you, because what is that one person has done to himself or herself that we all look at them? It's, of course, first and the foremost, when you walk in, nobody knows you by the nature, but what they can see of you is your appearance. And what is appearance? It's not about wearing brands. It's not about wearing the most expensive clothes. It's the knowledge which shows on your face, which you've accumulated over the period of time, over the years, and your virtues. Very, very important. If you're very virtual, it will start showing. Why do we look at very learned men? And you can see that in their eyes, that when they're speaking, you get completely lost into their words, into their thoughts, because they've accumulated this knowledge over the period of time. So first would be your knowledge, your, and which will show your virtues start showing. You know, when my always my benchmark, Divya, has been when you're passing through security, the time today, in today's time, we all have to go through security, even if you have to enter a building. Okay, we are scrutinized, the scare is so much. So, but the look on the person's, the security's face should be, I'm sorry, but I am doing my duty. And that shows that you have arrived as the best virtues anyone. Because, you know, whenever I pass the airport, I'm not trying to be pompous, but I'm just telling you, when I go to the airport, the ladies, when they're stamping on my boarding pass, they're saying, sorry, ma'am. I said, Kyo sorry? Hum kaam kar rahe hain. I said, doesn't matter. You are doing your job. I mean, that when I realize that I have achieved something in my life where people look at me and can swear by my virtues. Okay, that is one. Knowledge. You should never restrict yourself from knowledge. Though I'm a life coach, I still know how to connect with a vegetable vendor. I still know how to connect with a fruit vendor, because they are the best nutritionists for me. If I speak to them, they immediately tell me where the nutrition is coming from. So I don't feel odd. Oh, you know, I move around in an expensive car. How can I connect with a vegetable vendor? Collect your knowledge from wherever you can. Doesn't matter. You don't become small. Everyone comes with something on the table, and always connect with people who can share knowledge with you. I always say, don't waste your time over malicious gossip, because that will only harm you mentally and physically. Get into a group where people are generously sharing their values, their knowledge, which I always do. I don't waste my time over people who've got nothing to bring on the table. Okay, some rooted friends are there, but automatically, Divya, I always feel birds of a feather flock together. So you'll only accumulate people who've got knowledge, who've got sensibility.
I completely agree.
So, you know, when you talk about sensibility, we how loosely say it's a common sense. But to me, personally, I believe common sense is not common. It's so important to be sensible, be correct. I would not say politically correct, but balance your thoughts. Now, how do you do balance your thoughts? You know, very often people ask me that, how do I know whether it's right or wrong? So I always tell them an easy way is to make one column, write your pros and write your cons. Automatically, you'll know how you have to behave and what is good for you. So even if there's one mark which is higher than the con, doesn't matter, because it definitely scores over the negative. So be positive, and when you are positive, you will see a lot of difference. You only attract positive people around you. Very important. Then, of course, clothes maketh the man, but in a certain manner. You could be wearing in the most ordinary khadi or cotton outfit, sari, or whatever you're wearing, but it has to be well ironed, well starched, well placed. Wear it well, just don't wear it shabbily. Make sure that your hair is, even if you don't want to get your hair blow dry, that's fine, as far as everything is in place. That's why I didn't want to blow dry my hair today. I've actually come with a very simple bun, but it has to be in place. Make sure you drink a lot of water so your face remains clean all the time. It's not about makeup, it's about looking fresh. Your face has to look energetic and fresh. Makeup is so subjective. So it's up to you whether you want to do it. Makeup will take you a little long way because your appearance tends to look better, but it's up to you completely. Be fresh, be clean, make sure that everything is in place. So when you walk out of the house, if there are any threads sticking out, if your bag is got fingerprints, if your skin is not looking that great, make sure that you look into your skin first. And any strands of hair coming out, if your nails are dirty, people even watch toenails. Very important, your shoes have to be spotlessly clean. Make sure that you wipe your shoes as soon as before you wear them, because everything meticulous is like a package when you walk in. People don't look at one thing. You could have the best of appearance, could wear the best of makeup, but if your toenails and shoes are dirty and one look at it, the person knows where you're coming from. It's not about acceptance, but that keeps you going. Like if you get a gift, if it's a shabbily wrapped paper, you will, however good the gift is, you won't have that feeling about opening it because it's so shabbily wrapped. So gift wrap yourself beautifully and you walk in. And when you walk in, make sure that the stomach sticks in. The automatically you start, from childhood, your parents or your teacher would have always told you walk with your chest out, but that's difficult. That's not the trick. The trick is just slightly tuck your tummy in, automatically your shoulders open up. When your shoulders open up, you will see your confidence level going up. So I always use the magic word called TYTI, tuck your tummy in.
Oh,
So remember that, and it changes your whole personality when you walk into the room. And
amazing.
always have a warm smile. You don't need to be friendly. You don't know the people in the room. You don't need to be friendly, but just a warm smile will take you places because people should be able to say, we can connect with this person. So make that connection with people and look into people's eye. So that makes an entry. And I'm telling you, Divya, anyone means anyone can make that entry.
Amazing.
And that is most important. So then comes a language. How you modulate your voice, practice. Anyone can do it. I have a beautiful example. I'm going to use Bollywood as an example because we all know them collectively. When first Saif Ali Khan came in his first movie, he had a squeaky voice. But you saw over the period of time, he has worked on it, and each one of us can work on it. So, and all of us have a smartphone today. Keep recording in your privacy, read out dialogues, modulate your voice, get emotions into your, in your dialogue. Even while I'm talking to you, Divya, if I just say, hi, Divya, how are you? How was your day yesterday? I hope the office was good. It's so flat, but they say, hi, Divya, how was the office today? Was it day good? It can be quick, but change your tone.
Amazing.
That makes a lot of difference. Okay, but make sure you are a human being and you have to be warm to people. You do not need to be friendly, and there's a thin line, but be warm. That warmth will take you a lot of places, because you start connecting with people. Language. I've seen people very casually when, like I'll say, Divya, can you share this number with me? And my reply, and of course, Divya has been very warm enough to share the number with me. And I just write, thanks. I mean, how abrupt is that? Thank you, Divya. How long does it take you to type that? We are all very quick with our computers, so it just takes you 1 more minute. It just connects with people. Next time, Divya will be more than happy to share more things with you. So be warm, be connected. Don't write short forms in your language. Even when using language with people, make sure you're very clear about whatever you say.
Amazing.
Make sure that you use very wise words, and all of us can learn the language very easily. Today, Google is so available to all of us, right? So what I do even now, as much as people say, oh, you are already teaching, you must be knowing everything. No, I'm still learning. I'm still enjoying my learning experience with words, with vocabulary, with language. I try to make my language more superior, much more warmer, much more better every single day. So how do I do it? I pick up 2 new words from the dictionary, which I'm going to use in my dialogue with people. Okay. And then I incorporate that in my text whenever I'm speaking to somebody or chatting with somebody. And, it's so strange that I mean, everybody is not frank enough to tell me that, but few people did tell me that, Chaya, your language is so good when you text us. We actually save it and we use it for somebody else.
Amazing.
So, these are the things which you can teach each other, pick up from other people. Then other thing is listen to good interviews who have good command over English. I'm not talking about bombastic language. There are big leaders who are using very bombastic English or Hindi, which you're not going to incorporate because it's difficult. But pick up a language which connects with you. Maybe it's film stars. So what? Like for me, even Sara Ali Khan, when I listen to her, she's always so sensibly giving answers, very young, fresh, invigorating. Then there's Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. I know it's cliche to share it, but it's a fact. Today, he's become a legend only because of the way he's cultivated his knowledge. He's cultivated his language and the way he presents to people. And even when he's talking to whoever, he's looking into your eyes. And when he builds that connect, I've had the opportunity of having long conversation with him. And what I noticed, I was in a room full of very, very important people. And yet, while I was talking to him, his entire attention was only with me and not looking here or there. That makes a person a legend. And each one of you can become a legend in your
Amazing.
own way.
Wow. I think beautifully, took up all the points which impact can be created, by which impact can be created. Now, with all your discussions, I could, make out one thing is that it is said that what is inside, it reflects outside.
Correct.
So, how important it is, to focus on self from inside, and just quick learnings on that, and then we will be winding up because you're short of time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Over
No,
to
so quick learning is that you have to be very clear with your thoughts. I believe in honesty, deep honesty. There's a method, like, people say, sometimes you have to lie. But how do you lie? You can always twist it without saying a lie. Like, say for a small little thing. Like Divya says, what do you think? I'm wearing a pink sari. How do you think it looks? I may not like it on you. So I'm not going to say, no, yeah, Divya, you could be better. A very dear friend in a closed room, you may behave however, but in a more of a public platform. I said, Divya, pink is a beautiful color, but I think blue would be your choice. This is what I think. Automatically, you're not lying, but you're telling the truth. Then Divya has cooked a beautiful meal for me at a party, and the food is just unpalatable. Okay, but the hostess Divya has taken so much trouble in cooking up the food and laying it out on the table. So Divya, the spread is amazing. You've put in so much effort to please all of us. Kudos to you. But I'm still not saying the food is bad. So, so these are ways and methods of putting things across. So work on it. Even in your work, even in your career, even in your work wise, you can be honest, but you don't need to be rude to people.
100%.
Okay. So these are the things, and look into yourself. When you're honest and when you look into people's eyes, people start trusting you and believing you in everything, whatever you do.
Amazing.
And these are the most important virtues, not to lie.
Amazing. Absolutely wonderful insights. And I think, being impactful, the way you mentioned knowledge, personality, dressing style, communication, combination and a package of all is, the impact. And again, when we are at the top of the leaders, we are talking to the leaders here today. We are talking to the aspirants here today. So your learnings have been really, really immense and wonderful. Thank you so much for being here with us. And next time we are, surely going to have more time with you. More
Thank you.
with you and deeper impact.
Divya, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Divya, can we have a clip with Chaya?
Yes, absolutely. Please. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Chaya. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Pleasure meeting you all. Bye.
Thank you. So yes, over to you, Manisha, for, our panelists are waiting. So over to you, and may I request Jaya and Geeta also to join us.
Thank you so much, Divya. And now let me introduce our panelists, Ms. Jaya Janardhanan and Ms. Geeta Mathur. So let me introduce them. First is Jaya Janardhanan. She is an accomplished and goal-focused banking tech professional, professional sector bank, payment bank, small finance bank, and MNC banks. Her strengths and core expertise garnered over 27 years is strategized towards the delivery of IT-driven projects with a bang-on delivery record. Innovative robotic applications in various companies has won her several awards. Ms. Jaya is an alumni from Oxford, UK, and works extensively in the area of women empowerment and actively involved in a non-profit organization called Aspire for Her, which works to build the diversity ratio in the country. She is a speaker at major fintech forums. So we welcome you, Jaya. Our second panelist is Geeta Mathur. Geeta Mathur is an experienced finance professional, having worked as a banking, both on the asset side and risk side, and with large corporate treasurers and investor relations. She started her career with ICICI, where she worked for over 10 years. She transitioned to the development sector and worked as CFO of HelpAge India, one of the largest and oldest national level NPO in India, working for the cause of the elderly. She currently serves as an independent director in various large organizations across manufacturing and services such as InfoEdge Limited, Motherson Sumi Limited, NIIT Limited, IIFL Group. She serves as a member and chairperson of Audit or Nomination and Remuneration and Risk Management Committee. Exposure to multiple industries, discipline helps her cross pollinate ideas and contribute effectively as a board member. She co-chairs the India chapter of Women Corporate Directors Foundation, a global membership organization and community of women corporate directors with a mission to foster a powerful, trusted community of influential women corporate directors. We welcome you, Geeta Mathur.
Thank you.
I hand over this mic to platform to Divya to moderate the discussion further. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Manisha. And it's indeed pleasure to have you both, with us today on this platform. And, I can really see the huge career, what you have built in, the way you have been impacting in your careers, your, the organizations where you have been serving, the organizations where you have been connected. It's really indeed, pleasure to have you with us, Jaya and Geeta. So again, when we say being impactful is very important for women leaders to reach out to the positions which they aspire to. So I would like to have your thoughts on this topic, to start with, Geeta, as to how you have seen yourself being in impactful position in whatever things you have done, how you see you have been impacting others' lives at the same time, how you see being impactful in the boardroom. So over to you, Geeta. It's going to be about your journey and how you have been impacting. So yes, thank you.
Thank you, Divya. You credit me with much more than I've achieved.
Not at all
a big journey, but I think, I think I've been blessed. I think I've been blessed to have born in a family which sort of emboldened me always. When I was born, my father sent a telegram saying Jhansi ki Rani paida hui hai. So I was born in a family where I was always very bold. I was encouraged to be bold in my decision making, to be bold in my actions. Then I been married to a family which is pretty much gender agnostic as far as work goes. And also I started my career with ICICI, where again, Mr. Vagu's role was, what he said was he didn't want a gender friendly organization. He wanted a gender agnostic organization. So I've been blessed. I've had an opportunity to work without being conscious of my gender, been brought up without being conscious of my gender. So when I'm talking here, I'm going to be talking about creating impact as a professional and not so much as linked to my this thing. Okay. So I think in terms of my journey, I think all I want to say is that I've made a lot of changes in my career. I've moved from banking to treasuries. I've moved from treasuries to the development sector. I've also for some time tried to do my own business. So all I want to tell you is that I made a lot of changes in my career. All the time I was just, I was not intimidated by any change. I think the idea is to have confidence in yourself. And I think be on a learning journey as you are. Now coming to my board journey and talking about impact there, I think you have to understand that for creating impact, there's certain things which you just sort of are given, okay? You will have to work very hard. You will have to develop your core competencies. You'll have to develop your, whatever special expertise, like I'm a chartered accountant. So I have to be developing and working on my staying current with what's happening to my field. So I think one is, just working very hard. Second thing is that when you are moving to a board of a company, I think you have to spend time understanding the organization, understanding the sector, understanding the culture of the organization. You have to meet the KMPs. I mean, you have to just try and build a rapport with the rest of the board members. So I think spending time and working hard are a prerequisite before you think of creating an impact, right? I think it's also imperative that, for me, for example, when I have a board meeting, is to read the agenda papers very diligently. Again, coming back to hard work. Sometimes my daughter says, "Mama, ka exam hai kya kal?" So I will sit up late at night reading the agenda papers. I should not be not aware of anything which is coming up. And in between the quarters, when I don't have the pressure of the board meeting, I will always stay up to date with the sector development, the company developments, use my network, get research reports, what's happening in the industry, is there anything on the company or research report. So you have to be, stay engaged with the wider context, in which the organization operates. I think, as you said, I mean, making an impact is important, right? In your career, wherever you are, it's important that you make an impact. And somewhere, I think if you are a minority group in the boardroom, for example, although I'm not very conscious of my gender when I'm in the boardroom, but I think when you're a minority in the boardroom, you sort of, have more pressure on you so that you're able to help the organization make a paradigm shift, from group think to a more, heterogeneous kind of a boardroom. So I think, having said that, influence in the boardroom being a responsibility, I think I'll just share a few things with you which are important to make an impact. First thing is, of course, confidence. And I think I just heard Chaya speak briefly, and I heard about, she was talking about how you have to present yourself. That is one part of the confidence. I'll speak on the other part of the confidence,
Absolutely.
which is
Absolutely.
about, you have to build knowledge and credibility in a particular area. So, for example, when I moved to the first boardroom, there was an expectation that I would be able to, like, I'm part of all the audit committees on the boardrooms that I'm there, right? So people expect a certain thing from you based on your background, right? So you have to have knowledge and credibility in that area. That is very important, right? So when you speak with knowledge and authority, people listen. Like, for example, when I was in even ICICI, any project, any company that was in my portfolio, I would definitely visit the plant, because it's important to go on the plant, go on the shop floor. It'll help you understand technology. It'll help you understand the culture of the organization, where, how the product moves, what part is important, and all that. So it's important that it's not about just, of course, your own area. It's important to know about the organization. Going to the shop floor helps you to understand the culture of the organization. For example, the other day I've been to various factories, but some factories I see that the whistleblower posters are big and bold, right? Posh posters are big and bold. In some companies, they're not. So I will insist that you put up your standees, you put up your this thing. So what I'm saying is, it's important to know the culture, and all this gives you confidence, right? Second thing is articulation. Again, I think a point which I briefly heard Chaya cover, but I think in articulation, I also want to say, A is, of course, you speak clearly, you speak confidently, but everything is important. Your tone is important, your pace is important. How many words per minute? I think it's important for you to understand how many words per minute, and the decibel level. I mean, even if there's a conversation going on which is heated, how to maintain your decibel level shouldn't go up, right? So I remember I used to speak very, very quickly. I mean, maybe even now I haven't mastered that art. But it was Sandeep Bakshi, my boss, who's now the CEO of ICICI. That time he used to be my boss. He used to keep tokoing me. Geeta, reduce your words per minute. Reduce your words per minute.
Oh,
People may take time to understand. So I think articulation with an objective that the audience should be able to understand is important. I think second is, you use your networks. So in between meetings, I will always reach out to ex-bankers. I will reach out to the CA community, my PW friends, my this thing, to get to know more about the company, right? And so, and if there are any, rumors going around the place, keep your eyes and ears open. So knowledge, in whatever way you want to, right? So
amazing.
you experience a network.
Perfect.
Right?
Perfect.
Second thing is relationship. Important to have good relationship with the rest of the board members, with the management. You got to trust. I mean, when you go, either you do your diligence between a job before you join the company, but once you join the company, then trust people. Build a relationship, a rapport with your board members, know what their strengths are, and things like that. And I
Correct.
think
Amazing. Amazing.
yeah, the final thing is your integrity, right? So final thing is that you have to be authentic, you have to be open, you have to be transparent. Your agenda or your goal only has to be furtherance of the corporate objective, and to protect the interest of all the other stakeholders. others. So I think once you have integrity, once you're not looking at your own agendas, any small things, I think that's important. You stay independent because investors and all the other sort of people around you are looking at you for to look after the stakeholders, right? So once you establish integrity,
I was about to come to that question, having worked as a banker, on the asset side and the risk side, how do you think impactful communication from a director can help company to strengthen the investor and stakeholder relationship? I think you really very well answered that point. Thank you so much. Yeah.
So, Diva, I think we don't, directors don't communicate with investors. We never communicate.
No. I mean, from a director perspective, whether it is, executive, non-executive, but
I think as I mentioned, I think once you have your integrity, once you're truly independent, when so I will never ever say when so many of my CA friends call me up and say, "Can you introduce us to them?" I will not do that. I mean, I will not say. So the point is, you have to truly remain independent. You should not be one who's using your position. Some of my relatives call up and say, "Wo naukri nahi hai, ye wo." So no, I mean, I'll help them, but not in the company. So I'm on an advisory board of NGO called Saja. So when Saja approached me to join their advisory board, I first asked them. I said, "Please, do you have it in your mind that I will be able to help you organize funding from the companies where I am associated? Then please don't approach me. I'm not going to do that." So I have never arranged funding for Saja.
Amazing.
I use my network for this thing, but so I think also the board. Last thing I would say, as a board, I think if we're able to build up a culture of transparency and robust processes for decision making, integrity in the management, owning up to if something has gone wrong. If you're able to create that culture, if, as I said, if the whistleblower policy is something which is widely disseminated, people are okay to come and talk to you, the AC chair, or if you're approachable. I think once you create that culture, then that culture will ensure that the communication which goes out to the stakeholder is also an honest communication.
Absolutely.
Have I answered your question?
Absolutely wonderful.
Okay.
Perfect. Bang on. So
okay.
Yes, now I move to Jaya. Thank you for being here with us. And I would really like to know your journey as a leader, your journey, in various positions which you have handled, and how you feel being impactful is important for women leaders to move higher on the ladder of leadership. Over to you.
Thank you, Divya. I think I'm very happy that this particular conversation and this points are now garnering a lot of importance, and I've been practically part of a lot of discussions where this piece of woman being a leader, impactfulness is garnering a lot of importance. So I have not been as as Geeta said, she came from a family where it was gender agnostic. So I came from a very opposite family. I came from a very traditional family, which looked upon as of course, we have to get educated, but then you have to get married and lead a normal life. Career and growth was never a critical. And even those days when I used to say about higher education, I was looked upon saying that, do you think you need to go for a higher education? And that was a question that was asked. Okay, so that's a past. I don't need to.
Let me just add. In fact, very few people or very few women, I would say, would be as privileged as Geeta. But yes, I have seen these kind of challenges a lot of women face. So everybody would be surely very interested to listen to your perspective.
Yeah. So
made it. Yeah, sure. Over to you.
So I was also so I started my career with ICICI Bank, and as Geeta said, ICICI Bank really has good leaders, and they are one of those organizations which also loves to have good mentors, talent, and make sure that good talent actually makes its way up the ladder of the career. So one request would have had to the people who are listening on this, listening to this conversation is that it's very critical at a younger age, you need to have a mentor. If you need to grow up in your career, you need to have a mentor, because it's very critical. And there are a lot of situations in your life which you come across in your career where you stand and say, do I need to go further, or shall I just come back? or is this enough for me? I don't want to go further. So these are those conflicting questions which keep coming in your career, and having a mentor is very, very critical. So as you grow up in your career, a mentor being part of your life is very, very important. And that's an advice I would like to kind of share here in this conference. So when at some point in my career in ICICI Bank, I realized my own capability, and my bosses realized my capability, and therefore at that point of time, giving me a larger responsibility than what I could handle was entrusted with me. So I did well, and that gave me the confidence. While I faced stiff opposition from at home, saying late working hours. For example, when we were, building the centralization process in ICICI Bank, I used to stay back late till 2, 3 in the early hours of morning, because none of us knew what centralization was. We were all learning. So it was a trade-off that I had to do. I had stiff opposition, right? I used to come home 3 o'clock in the morning in a taxi. Those days, your car and those. So I used to come home, and my dad would say, do you know, I have to wait for you down over here. There are so many people who are wondering, what are you coming at 3 o'clock in the morning? So, why I'm tabling all this, life has changed a lot. Career for women has changed a lot. Situations have changed a lot. Environment have changed a lot. But there are still these challenges that some of them face at homes in terms of, growth. So of course, I battled all that. And at some point of time, I realized that, yes, there was a good thing to have. Good things happening to me in my career. So let me take it on. Now, coming to the point of managing, in a room. So most of the time, and I'm sure Geeta will agree with,
Did we lose your
one woman.
voice? Yeah.
Come back.
So when you actually go to when you're in a boardroom, or when you're in a management committee, or when you're in a in an ExCom committee, you will realize that you're the only sole woman in the room, and you have all of them who will actually have one voice, and you will have the second voice. And so therefore it's very critical for us to actually make sure that you table your point very strongly, okay? Have a logic to what you're saying, okay? And make sure that your voice is heard in the team. When there is a logic, and when there is a content behind what you speak, then people are forced to hear. And believe me, Divya, I have had this problem across in my career, where I have been the sole woman in the room. And there are times when I actually had to realize that, what the hell am I doing here?
Oh.
Because people don't hear you. Okay. And then you have to fight your battle, either inside or outside. You have to fight your battle, right? So when you speak about being impactful, my only point, or my only submission to the entire team who are hearing this is, have content when you speak. Okay, it is very critical for you to make sure that when you speak, when people hear about the film which came about, where the decision in the board in the court was taken, where there were 10 people against one person, and then he managed to change the whole decision making. That's the way it should be. We have to okay. The other piece which is very critical in a conversation, in a organization, when we talk about this, there are a lot of people who look up to you, especially the women colleagues look up to you. They feel that, if you are able to reach that level, they can reach. So it is very, very important for you to share with them what it takes to achieve that. Okay, talking to people is very critical, because they want to hear from you. They want to understand from you. They want to know what you have done, which helps them to grow. So it's very critical. Even if you have a mentor, you need to make sure that you also mentor people. You bring people along.
This is a wonderful point.
Yeah, it's only women who will help women come up. Okay. While I have experienced the other way of women pulling down women, that's a different story. But if as leaders, what I suggest is, it's only women who can bring up women. So it is very critical that we groom our own members in the team to go up the ladder.
Wonderful.
So creating impact always helps in first, making sure that you network, build people in your organization. See, I'm talking about in the organization, okay? Because when we talk about leaders, inside the organization, people look up to you and they want your support. You want your help. And that way, that if you pull back and you say, okay, I am the boss, I will go, you can do what you want, then you will lose respect, right? So therefore, it's very critical for us to build up and bring our own team up the level, so that, there is a today what struggles in most of the organizations, Divya, is the ability for people to remain together. Okay, while we are all doing work from home,
We are losing your voice in between.
the tea breaks and the I'm saying if the tea breaks are not there, the coffee breaks are not there.
Correct.
But
correct.
so it's very critical in such a scenario also to keep your people together, talk to them, communicate to them, tell them. For example, in our organization, when we do a conversation with our boss, we also make sure that we pass on the communication to the team below, so that they know what is in the organization happening and they remain connected. So impactful is not just about what you do, but it's also about getting your team together and building that impact around you. So
very well covered point. Thank you so much. And I think because of the paucity of time, I'll be taking one question each for both of you. Now, Jaya, you have huge experience in working technology innovation in banking industry. So do you feel with more technology being used in the boards and the board softwares, somewhere the impact is getting diluted? That is kind of virtual meetings versus physical meetings. So a quick, thought on that.
Divya, I'm on the other side of the board, right? So there is I have to manage a board, right? So therefore, I'll tell you how I see how I see
exactly. That's why I asked you this question. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, the physical presence and the way your body language gets communicated, or where you have to go and when you're presenting something, when you're clarifying something, the impact is different. Whereas when you're on a Zoom meeting, the impact is different. So do you feel that there is a difference in impact? There is a difference in impact. The physical presence is definitely a different, whereas the virtual is different. But when it comes to largely, numbers and other kind of stuff, there is no too much of a difference, because you're communicating through a presentation and you kind of tell what you want. So the other person hears, there is a question answer session. So all those are there. But I think the physical impact definitely has taken a beating because of the, all these Zoom meetings and stuff like that. So because many times what I feel is that, is the other person hearing what I'm saying? Because why the board members, they there is a 5-minute attention you have to catch, right? And that when you're physically present, you know that you're catching his attention. But when you're on a Zoom, and most of the time people put off their camera, you don't know. So if you're asking me, is there a difference? There is a difference.
There is a difference. Completely agree with you. Yeah. So yes, Geeta, I would like to ask one question, though I know in bits and pieces you have covered a lot of things. So when I see 3 E's of boardroom, that is, very critical for greater impact as a board leader, that is envision, engage, and execution. So what are your views on that? Because board has to create that vision also and get it executed also. So how, those impacts get migrated from that, vision to the execution. So any thoughts on that? What you have observed in your practical experiences in your organizations, your, on the boards of those companies. So how those actual, visions get migrated to the execution, and what impact, does that really impact in that same fashion, and how the boards or the directors impact into that part? So over to you.
Yeah. So Divya, I have to log in 5 minutes. So I'm going to keep it very brief because I have a meeting at 11.
Yes.
So I'm going to keep it very brief. I think I don't totally agree with the 3 E's. I think rather than execute is more enablement. Because we don't actually, as a board, we don't execute. I think it's just enabling the management to execute whatever vision. And that vision is also jointly created, I think, with the management. I want to tell you that the board of directors completely depends on the management, and it has to be a very smooth relationship where these kind of things like envisioning is done together. The board needs to challenge management, needs to question management, but also needs to trust management. So these visioning exercises are jointly, engaging is done jointly. So I'll just briefly highlight a few things which I think are important for the board in these exercises of envisioning, engaging, and according to me, enabling and not executing. First thing is proactive. The board has to be proactive. It can't be a reactive board. It has to be a proactive board, truly strategic. And they should be. We're not in charge of day-to-day management, right? We don't work on execution or management, but but increasing the stakeholders, the investors, the government agencies, the civil society, the employees, everybody's looking at us to be accountable, right? Sometimes unfair, the amount of accountability is expected from board of directors, but the accountability is there. And for that, I think it's important to be proactive rather than reactive. I think second thing, again, all our decisions and actions should be able to stand the scrutiny of the stakeholders. So there has to be a very robust decision-making process, which we follow as a board, and which we sort of in a way which we engage with the management to come up with that decision. So it has to be a robust kind of transparent level method of decision making, which should be able to stand the scrutiny, right?
Amazing.
It should be how the decision making should be aligned to corporate objectives. It should not be detrimental to the interest of any of the stakeholders. So that transparency and proactiveness. I think thirdly, I think all members should continuously be curious. They should be mentally agile. We should be able to accept changes that are happening, not in just technology. I know technology is one change, but I think the way the new generation is thinking, the way expectation of new generation, I think ways of marketing which have changed, advertising, reaching out to your customer. So I think the board needs to do that to be able to even envision and engage, right? That's important
Amazing.
for us to be sort of this thing.
Perfect.
Fourth is, I think as a board we need to encourage diversity. And diversity doesn't mean just gender diversity, it's age diversity, it's ethnicity diversity. I think with all these things, I think your vision statement or your vision becomes that much more complete, because you're not doing groupthink, right? It's important to avoid the board to get in a trap of groupthink. Only that will help you
Amazing.
to envision and execute, right? So I think when all these things are there in a board, a proactive board, a transparent board, a diverse board, agile board, then I think all the three things that you said of being able to envision properly, of being able to engage, communicate, if there's age diversity, I think communication with the management is also more apt in that sense.
Correct.
So I think these are some of the things that I would say are important for the board to be a truly lead from the front, make an impact. I think that is how a board should be.
Amazing. Wonderful.
Okay.